What is poppin' fight fans? And welcome to a virtual media day for Brave CF 54, September 25th. And we have the co-main event right here. Muhammed Mokaev, who is currently undefeated, 5-0 in his professional career, 22-0 in his amateur career, who will be taking on Blaine O'Driscoll, fighting out of SBG in Ireland. He's got a record of 9-4. Recently fought Jose Shorty Torres in a very, very good fight. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Let the old man start first.
Blade?
Yeah, yeah, I'm all good, brother.
Awesome. Blaine, we haven't seen you since March. How's everything been since?
Yeah, man, I've just been training solid, improving on my game.
And Muhammad, how have you been? You fought, of course, recently, winning your last match. How you been doing?
Yeah, I've been fine since March. I had another fight in June. Like all bullshit happened, Like the guy didn't want to fight. I felt the pressure, and then I've competed in grappling and competed in wrestling, like what I do always. Like I've sparring like Saturday anyway, so sometimes I spar maybe just compete somewhere. It's part of sparring anyway, just like in competition zone. It's exactly same stuff, but just been competing active, go to different gyms, spar, and everything been good.
Yeah, and Muhammad, you made it very easy for the matchmakers and you called Blaine out on Instagram. Why did you choose to call Blaine out specifically?
Because my last opponent was good. He was 6-1. Ibrahim Novruzov, he fought like in Russia, and he's a tough, solid opponent. And I called him out, and the fight didn't make any noise. Even like the fight was no contest. Even if I would smash him up, like people say, like, "Hey, you're fighting like no good guys and stuff." But he's a solid opponent. He has good high wrestling and stuff. But beating Blaine it will give me more exposure, especially in Europe and UK scene. Especially we got like similar fans like Ireland, UK. So beating him up will give me like bigger exposure.
Yeah, and Blaine, for you, he called you out on Instagram. You know, when somebody calls someone out, they feel like they can beat them. Do you feel that he was disrespecting you, calling you out?
No, man, I welcome it. They're just the same as him. He's got a massive following. His call out alone already, like I got about 1,000 followers. But yeah, this is, I could fight five other guys, and it wouldn't do the same for me as beating Mokaev would. So
Yeah, and he's got a big following there on Instagram. Do you think you'd pull in all those followers if you get a victory over him?
um, yeah, for sure, I'll blow up after this win.
Yeah, and Mohammed, you said you're going to be taking Blaine on a ride on the Dagestani Airlines. You finished some fights by strikes as well, but do you feel that your wrestling would be superior in this bout?
Yeah, all day I can take this guy down. This guy, um, like wrestling isn't for everybody. Like the guys coming to train like wrestling MMA fighters, they come and train wrestling with 5-6 years in a row, and they still get it taken down. Wrestling is something that you have to compete, you have to live, you have to understand, you have to feel each part of them. Like you have to make 2 steps ahead of your opponent, in wrestling, especially in positions. It's impossible to learn wrestling just doing like MMA. Like I come from background of wrestling, but if guy who is coming from MMA or like boxing or jiu-jitsu background start doing wrestling, it will be hard for him to understand the movements. I can't explain. You will see in the fight, but like 29 guys knew I'm gonna wrestle them, and they couldn't stop my takedown defense, and Blaine another one. See what he brings to my game.
Yeah, and Blaine, Muhammad was talking about your wrestling before he got on here because you were having some technical difficulties, and he's like, you know what? Just like his wrestling, he's going to have a lot of problems. How do you plan on defending these takedowns?
Well, like, I wrestle every single day. I heard Muhammad said that because I only put up one picture of me wrestling, and that picture wasn't even my idea. The guy was going to the IMAX, so he wanted a picture. But I wrestle every single day. You know, we have a great wrestling coach here, Sergey. He's a solid coach. You know, and you know we wrestle every single day here. You know, so my wrestler will be fine, man. And you know the trouble with me is maybe it might get me down, but nobody can hold me down. I wrestle with absolutely everyone that comes to our gym, no matter what size they are. They can't hold me down. You know, I can get up. I'll be getting up non-stop, and that's where I see the trouble being. You know, when you tire out, and I just keep getting up. And even if you bring me on them big rides, they're just using more energy out of you to actually get me down, and then I'm back to my feet, and I'm putting it on you again. You know.
But sometimes when they get these airlines, they not be able to get up because they get slammed on the head. So it's better not fly. Like don't even think I'm gonna take you down. Just say like he not gonna take me down. But you now you're saying you're happy to me. Even if I take you down, you're happy like already I'm gonna take you down. What's that mentality come from, man?
Well,
Blaine,
like
your
it's
response?
being realistic, you know. You're a very good wrestler. Like the win won't be getting me down, you know. The win will be that I'll get up every single time, and as you get more tired and your arms start to get more tired, you can't even hold your hands up, and then I'm putting it on you with my boxing, my kicking, everything else. You know, that's where the trouble will arise for you.
Okay. Okay, we'll see on September 25th. And so you saying you have good boxing, right? So how many
We
times
will
you've
see.
been dropped? So how many
I'm
times
saying
you've been dropped?
I've got at MMA in general.
You
How
broke
many
up
times
the
have I been dropped?
yes. How many times you've been dropped?
I don't know.
Huh?
Do you know?
Yes,
Why would I
I do
count
know.
that? Why would I care about that?
But how many times I have been dropped? So you talking about your striking, right? So it's not about like how many times you land on somebody. It's about how many times you defend the not getting hit. So I only been dropped once in IMF World Championships when I fought actually with Stafila Cook on my knee, and and I still smashed the guy up, and it's the IMOF scene. You have to fight every day, making weight and stuff. But out of 29 fights, I only been dropped once. So uh, it's and I got up. But how many times you been dropped and didn't go up?
Yeah, but you go in and just shoot and try to hold on, man. You don't even want to fight in a fight.
But
You just go in
but
and
it's not
hold
about
on for dear life.
I know it's not about that. It's about I'm gonna
I'm not
take you
saying it's
down. I
not
hope
effective. I'm not saying it's
it
not
is
effective,
effective.
but it's very
I,
boring. It's very
even if
boring.
even if I take you down, I hold you down.
No,
I'll
I'm
beat you.
saying it is effective, but it's very boring.
But I don't care.
What?
To be honest, Blaine, I don't care. People, I don't care what people think. For me, it's like I know I can be safer. Why I would experiment something that I could be 50-50 position. Striking is 50-50 position. So why I would experiment something? I take you down. I hold you all day. I know. I spar with featherweights, lightweights, and for me, flyweight
Well,
division. It's I
probably
believe.
probably 30-70 to me, I'd say.
Huh?
I'd say 30-70 to me, not 50-50 position.
30. I don't get what you say.
You get it?
He said
No.
37 position, not 50
You said
50.
in air case.
Hey, Blade, like your internet is like your wrestling.
All right, gentlemen, we're gonna carry on from there.
I
Blade, let
know,
me ask
man.
you let me ask you this question. You're 9-4 in your professional career. Muhammad is 5-0 in his professional career. You fought more professionally than he has. He has that 22-0 record before he got to his professional level. Do you feel you have the advantage having more professional bouts than he does?
Definitely, like professional bouts are different than the IMAF bouts, you know. Like 22-0 is great, but you can rack up like 5 fights in a week with IMAFs. Like, I wish I had got the experience of doing that, but when I was amateur, it was like pro fights, and I take all the risks. Like I fight in many different weights. You know, that's how I have. I've taken a few stupid risks and taken a couple of losses, but you know, it kind of shows that he's never really been in trouble. You know, he's never really had to dig deep in there, which you will in this fight.
Muhammad, do you have a response to that of him calling your 22 victories before maybe not as good as they should be compared to the professional level?
Definitely. I believe doesn't matter. It's professional or it's amateur. Amateur is exactly same. I don't know what he talking about. The old, like old school, like amateur fights. You know, now amateur fights is some guys are tougher than some professional guys because guys understanding new level of like being smart training and stuff like this. Like for example, I beat when I was 4-0 amateur. I beat guy. If you probably know from UK since Liam Gittins, he is 7-1. I think professional now. So while I was staying amateur, this guy was like at some point he was like 5 professional. I was still keep fighting in amateur, but this guy's already like high up in rankings. I never care about that. And like amateur scene, and like I never fought IMF seniors, but the guy who I beat in juniors, Kazakh guy, he's just become European senior champion. He just won a gold medal, and Kazakh guys are tough guys if you know. So I beat him in juniors, and this guy climbing up in different divisions. But I just focus on my path, and most of my fights are at bantamweights, and now I move to my like flyweight. But this is catchweight, not because I cannot make flyweight. It's Blaine isn't big flyweight. I'm not bigger flyweight. So why we should like make this flyweight and then recover after the fight. So many when we can't get back into business, maybe November again. So it's not like ego thing like let you make like 57 because you get more tired. I don't care about that. I train with guys like 70 kilogram guys, 75 kilogram guys in the gym, and it's not about that. So like people maybe saying like amateur career, but I don't care. I don't care. I know what I'm capable of, and I went to fight my previous opponent Abdul Hussein. He's a tough opponent. He had 7 wins and 1 defeat in professional league. He's a tough guy, and I believe he can give tough fight to maybe he beat Blaine. Blaine is a tough kid also, but skill wise, I think Abdul Hussein better on the ground. And I fought this guy with staph infection on my knee. Actually, I was in hospital after the fight. I went to that fight with actually staph infection, and not many people know this. I went there and I still perform. I never pulled out from the fight. So um, he had experience. Also, tough guy. I have huge respect to him, and I don't want to talk shit. Maybe he underestimate my amateur, but I'm not gonna underestimate him. Why would I?
Yeah, and Blaine, how do you feel him saying that Abdul was a tougher opponent for him?
Oh no, Abdul is very tough. I agree, but I feel Abdul's style suited Muhammad. He's a very tough fight, but it's a style that suits you. Like he wanted to re-engage in the grapple all the time, whereas I won't, which is push you to where you're not as comfortable. And as well,
Yeah, and
I find the amateur 3-minute rounds suits the wrestlers a lot more. One takedown, it's nearly 2 minutes gone. The 5-minute rounds in pro is when it becomes a bit more even with the striking background.
yeah,
I
Blaine.
wouldn't say 3 minutes. Wrestling match is 6 minutes. So, like when we wrestle in intense 6 minutes, So, I would say like professional was easier for me because when I fought amateur, for example, 5 rounds, 3 minutes, it was like yeah, in 5 rounds I have to do 5 takedowns. Imagine, but in MMA, professional 3 takedowns, it's happy, But in amateur, imagine how many setups you have to do to get that 5 takedowns. So it was more. I believe it was more difficult. And I always was saying when I was fighting in amateur, I was saying, imagine fighting in that cage 5 minutes, get gas, opponent getting gassed.
Yeah, and Blaine, you last fought Jose Shorty Torres that you took on 4 days' notice. Do you think that was the biggest thing that was kind of held you back in that fight?
I definitely think my gas held me back. You know, I don't normally gas out ever. I normally have fitness for days. And you'll even notice like the difference of the shape I'm in from that fight to this fight. That I'm not lying when I say I came straight in off the couch for that one.
Yeah, and Muhammad, did you watch his performance
You
against
know,
Jose Shorty?
I did watch. Of course, I watch. I watch everybody. I didn't even know Blaine will be my opponent that time, and I actually see him in Bahrain. And even if he would, I would still. Um, I actually came to Blaine and shake his hand. I think I was a Wayne's, right? And I did watch that fight. I watched that fight day after as well to rewatch. You know, like I like to watch flyweights. I was in hospital actually day after, and so I rewatched the fight. Good pressure. He did what Jose does normally, but he did this against Jose. Blaine and Jose like similar styles. They come and pressure fighters, and I sparred with Jose before this fight, and I think you have to ask Shorty what how do rounds go between me and Shorty, and I can handle like pressure easier than when I pressure somebody, because when I pressure somebody it's uh, it's 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 crazy because like you know, like off the cage some people are dangerous, but when somebody pressure me out, that's what I want.
Yeah, and Muhammad, I think you've been taken down one time ever in your career. Blaine, this question's for you. Do you think you could take Muhammad down?
By who?
oh yeah, man, this is gonna get. This is gonna be his second takedown in his career. This one, man, 100%. Man, my wrestling's solid, man. People underestimate my wrestling, man. SPG is a grappling heavy gym. You know, we grapple more than we strike. Um, most of our training is grappling.
uh, okay, but by who I got taken down? By who?
Didn't Abdul, you like a small takedown by Abdul when you guys last fought?
Yes, I did. Of course, I
He gave a
Yeah.
double leg,
underestimate.
yeah.
I did underestimate Abdul's grappling. It's not I underestimate. I went to do 57 kilogram, and with my staph infection because it, I don't know, guys. You aware of what staph infection is? It's like you just I was in a cage and I was feeling like I did end up here. You know, like I didn't even understand what's going in my head. Everything was like that fight is worst fight of my probably career, and world championships as well, when I had like stuff like I couldn't see what's going on. It's just like my muscle memory, like like can't even remember what was going on in that fight. From early
Yeah.
from early seconds, I didn't know what's going on because it was it was crazy. But it's okay, it's learning. For me it's important win, and I don't care how the fight goes and stuff. For me, victory and go home and get ready for another fight.
Yeah, and of course we have the flyweight championship tournament happening right now. Is there anybody specific you two would want to take on for that title? Either
What do you
or can
mean?
answer. Is there any, because Jose Shorty Torres is fighting in that tournament for that flyweight title?
Yeah.
Is there anybody specifically you'd want to take on for that title?
To be honest, I remember I landed earlier for the fight in October against Jamie Kelly, and Dustin Ortiz. No, Zach Markovsky opponent, Abdul Hussein, actually pulled out from the fight, and
Hmm.
I swear, like my manager knows and my coaches knows, and Shahid knows and Gustavo. I blew the phone up. I said, listen, I can make, like, let's do catch weight. Even 57, I could make that because we did catch weight between me and Jamie Kelly. I said, please give me a fight against Zach Markovsky. It was 2 days notice. I was ready. Listen, I can't take all these guys between, like, us and like between me and Blaine maybe and these guys who is in the tournament. Whoever wins, it's not about like we cannot punch 1-2 or do uppercut or maybe like shoot for takedown or defend takedown. It's about who get ready better for the fight, like performance wise, mentally wise. It's not like they are different level to us. I was ready, and my head training every day. It gets me ready for any challenge. So it's not like they're on crazy level. It's about who gets recovered after weigh-ins and better for the fight. That's what's about us now.
Yeah, Blaine, same question for you.
Yeah, no, that's just what he said there. Like that's something that let me down in the shorty fight. You know, I normally know in in the week of the fight that I've done everything. You know, I can leave it all in there. I can be happy. But going into the shorty fight, I had, you know, I couldn't say that to myself. I couldn't say that I've done everything for this fight because I didn't. You know, and for this one though, I can say that I've done everything. You know, I've put in weeks and weeks of hard work, so I can be 100% confident in my head going into this fight. So
Hey, Blaine,
that's
I thought you training
another
all year
reason
round,
why
brother.
you will see.
I thought you training all year round.
Man, I train all year round, and I even train Christmas, but it's different training for a fight as it is training for like enjoyment. Like not enjoyment,
Okay.
but you know what I mean. Camp is different, you know. Up to sparring, you know, just nobody's doing mad sparring all year round, or they're gonna end up like a vegetable. No, camp is different, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, guys. So
Hit
this
you,
is almost
hit you in a different mindset.
Okay.
this is almost like, you know, your Habib versus Connor when they fought. You know, Muhammad coming from Dagestan, Blaine, you come from Ireland, of
We're
course.
better.
You guys are better, yeah. Do you guys, and then this goes for both of you, Muhammad, do you take anything from Habib's career? Do you feel any pressure to keep an undefeated streak going on? And for Blaine, for you, do you kind of want to take a different route that Connor did and kind of have your own kind of stamp on this sport? Muhammad, we'll start with you first.
Okay. Undefeated career. It's like, of course, it motivates me. It motivates me making a history. You know, especially having such a background and having like, um, make professional undefeated background. And when I'm, um, you know, like it's not like I would say like it's similar fight to Habib and Conor is because it's different. They have like proper rivalry stuff, you know, against each other. But I, I don't care about what's going on between them two in this fight. It's nothing to do with that with this, you know. I have a respect to him, to his coach, to his team, and like he's just exactly same opponent as other guys. It doesn't matter he's Irish or he's like my boxing coach is Irish, so like what I cannot say like he's a bad because he's like he represents somebody or something. He's exactly same opponent. I have exactly same hunger, exactly same mindset to beat this guy, and I don't care what the background about it.
Yeah, and Blaine?
Yeah, I'm the same. You know, I've watched Mohammed for a good while. You know, I always kind of watch his fights. He's a good competitor. I've great respect for him and his team, and yeah, look, I'm just happy that I have the opportunity to challenge myself with the fight. I'm looking forward to a great fight.
Yeah, I love the respect between you guys. But hey, September 25th, Brave 54. Guys, a co-main event. Final words you want to say to each other.
I'll see you in Poland, and make sure you bring your parachute. You know, we'll fly together.
Oh, hey, I have a reply to that one. Make sure you bring a pillow.
Bring what?
A pillow
What's pillow for?
to go to sleep.
Oh, you saw a sleeping machine, right?
Yeah.
Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for the time, guys.
Looking
Of
forward
course,
to the fight.
we'll see you at the co-main event in Poland, September 25th. Make sure you guys tune in. Muhammad Mokaev takes on Blaine O'Driscoll in that co-main event. Thank you, gentlemen, for the time today.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend.
My my performance will be better than my internet anyway. Okay.
Your internet is like your wrestling, you know.
So.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.